Here's what I wanted to share with you about the Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga means age of darkness, where evil is glorified and free to rule. I don't have much to say about just this sentence when we look at what's going on. Kali Yuga, age of darkness. Hindus believe that human civilization degenerates spiritually during the Kali Yuga, which is referred to as the Dark Age because in it, people are as far away as possible from God. The Kali Yuga, according to Hindu scriptures, it says, it is the lowest instinct that stimulate the men of Kali Yuga. They prefer false ideas. They do not hesitate to persecute the sages. Desire torments them. Neglect, illness, hunger. The fear spreads. Severe droughts. The sacred books will no longer be respected. Men will have no morals and will be irritable. Sectarian false doctrines and misleading writing spread in the age of Kali Yuga. People are afraid because they neglect the rules taught by the wise and do not perform the rites correctly anymore. Many will perish. The slaves want to play the role of intellectuals, and the intellectuals that of slaves. Of course, I trust that you switch the word slave to today's correspondent of slave. And my interpretation of the slave is the people that are completely slave to their ego, that are so in their ego that they are completely disconnected from their hearts and from acting from their hearts and righteousness. So the slaves will play the role of intellectuals and the intellectuals that of slaves. Thieves become kings and kings become thieves in Kali Yuga. Rare are virtuous women. Now I will make a pause. It is also an era where women, the power of women and the power of the sacred feminine is coming back, definitely slowly, and it's starting to be recognized again as it was completely suppressed for so many years. However, the difficulty of a lot of us women to understand that we are more than objects, it's still too present. So this would be represented here. Promiscuity extends. Another thing that is very interesting is this. The earth produces almost nothing in some places and produces a lot in others. And to finish, the powerful take over public goods and stop protecting the people. Now, if you think that this was written 3,104 years, something like that, before Christ, this is not the first Kali Yuga that we go through, apparently. There's been many in the cycles, but it's very easy to see. And it's reassuring in one way, that if we can take a step back and look at the craziness, but frame it by understanding that this is the era we are going through, and we are heading towards Satya Yuga, which is the age of enlightenment. And in between these two, the transition is Krita Yuga, which is the age where evil, the same evil, will be exposed. So we're at the two right now. And to finish on an encouraging note, to go on a more spiritual aspect, because of course, only spirit can overcome ego. The awakening of the Kundalini is a spiritual energy, is a spiritual awakening that concretely diminishes the impact of the ego on us. We enter a higher place in us outside of the ego and start living our life and acting from that place. And if we each get to that level of consciousness, that is how we can overcome the ego. Everything will be acted from the place of love and compassion and togetherness, and not from the place of hate and separation and survival that the ego functions in. Sri Mataji went around the world for 40 years, awakening the Kundalinis of people. You can try it for yourself. You don't take it from me. Try it for yourself and you will see the Kundalini awakening in you. You will recognize it and you will feel the transformation. Now she did it, again, as I was saying in the other video, she did it from the pure compassion of her heart because she knew that the humankind would need a way to get out of the grip of the ego for its emancipation, or else we will, as Eckhart Tolle said, die. He said we are at a crossroad right now, evolve or die. Now the craziness, the level of craziness we are going through right now almost looks like we really want to extinguish ourselves. But the survival and the furthering of our existence in a peaceful way can happen in this very concrete, not utopia, it's concrete way of transcending the ego through our spiritual. Now she gave all of this for free. Do you know that there were halls sometimes that were almost empty? However, people that came, false gurus, that charged $300 a head to give some lectures where the people would come out with absolutely nothing else than realizing how this person has so much spiritual whatever and coming out empty. And these halls were full. $300 per person. Sri Mataji did this for free, and sometimes it was difficult to get people. This is the type of illusion of Maya that the ego can even bring to make ourselves think that you can pay for your spirit, you can pay for spirituality. And we also know how the market of spirituality is full of opportunists and people that blur people. Your Kundalini is there to give you the truth. It never costs you to awaken your Kundalini. It cannot. How much would you pay for spirit? How can you even put a price on pure spirit? So she went around and she was nominated twice for a Nobel Peace Prize because they recognized her efforts and the efficiency for peace in the world if people would take on to that. You never pay, you are never asked to be registered, you don't have to be a member. It's not about that. She believed in human emancipation. Each Kundalini awaken can awaken the next person. So you can find out more about us. There are centers all over the world. However, I just want to finish with that. During the age of Kali, the great god Shiva, the dark blue and red peacemaker, will be revealed to all under a disguise to restore justice. Those who go to him will be saved. Now, considering that Shiva is a symbol, Shiva is an energy, represents an energy, he sits here. my interpretation of this last sentence, and I will leave you with that, it's when you enter the space of your spirit, represented by Lord Shiva. If you go to it, you can be saved from the craziness. Let's bring Satya Yuga all together, quick on earth. Namaste.